On this episode of Currie Garage, we've got Griffin Steinfeld and his killer Chevy Apache. It's a purpose-built drag truck, but it can be driven on the street, launches off of a Transbrake, and I'm going to see if he'll actually take me for a ride with it. We're going to get it up on the lift, show you how it's built, show you how it's Currie equipped. Let's get Griffin in here and check it out. Griffin, dude, thank you for bringing this thing. It is awesome, man. Tell us a little bit more. What'd the year, make, model? What'd you bring today?
I brought in my '56 Chevy pickup. This is my my pride and joy, my baby. It's something I've had since I was 15 years old, and it's just been a major progression to what you see right now. So
really? So did you do the whole build on this car?
Yeah, it's just been a major progression over the years. You know, I got the truck with just a basic old small block 327, a little 10-bolt rear end, and you know, just a good Sunday cruiser truck. And then of course I can't leave anything stock.
Leave it alone. Being a car guy, you got to mess with it, right?
I did the junkyard LS swap, and then we put a turbo on it, learned how to tune it and play with it. Then we put a built motor, bigger turbo. It's just been a big progression, and then I eventually started getting kicked out of the racetracks because I had no safety stuff in it.
Oh.
And so it's just now we're like, all right, let's bite the bullet and do it right, put a good cage in it, and do the whole chassis up and build a big boy motor for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you have in it now? I'm sure a lot of people are looking at it and they're probably going to say like, dude, this thing's got to make a ton of noise. He's obviously got a full roll cage. He's obviously going fast. I'd love to pop the hood and kind of show guys that are watching right now what you've got underneath this thing. Let's pop it. Let's take a look.
It's a 388 cubic inch LS next to. It's got a pair of precision mirror image 76-75 turbos on it, dark block, AFR cylinder heads, John Doherty camshaft.
You're hands-on, right? I mean, you did a lot of this yourself.
Yeah, no, I assembled the motor myself. I do all my own tuning. A good buddy of mine, Patrick Miller, sets up all the chassis stuff. And we're just a couple of young dudes that are just trying off the wall stuff, and things actually working. We've only had the truck out of the track 3 times, and it's already going bottom 5s in the 8th.
Holy crap.
We're already knocking on that 4-second door, so.
Oh wow, that's amazing, man. So this thing hooks too.
Oh, it rocks.
What trans are you running?
It's a Hughes-built Turbo 400.
Okay.
It's got a second gear lead, Transbrake, all the fancy stuff on it. Of course, further back, QA1 carbon fiber drive shaft hooked up to the Currie rear end.
Oh, nice, man. So why'd you choose Currie?
Because I've had them. I used to race off-road desert stuff, had a Currie rear end in that truck, and it was one of the few parts that I just never had to worry about. And
bulletproof, right?
It just survived, and I did some stupid stuff in that truck too. I mean, landed full throttle off jumps and just shock loading it like crazy. And if it withstood that, it passed my test. So that was a no-brainer for me. Got the big F9 in it, big 40 spline axles. I mean, it's all this big serious stuff. It's got the billet through bolt center section in it, and it's just, I'm super happy with it.
Right on.
And it's been taking everything I'm throwing at it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's putting the power to the ground.
It is. Yeah, I mean, this Transbrake is not easy on parts. It's an extreme shock load. I mean, once you calculate gear ratios and all that, I mean, I'm sure there's over 5,000 foot-pounds of torque going through on that initial shock, once you calculate gear ratios and all that stuff. So it's ridiculous what that rear end has gone through so far and what it's going to be going through, so.
You've got 2 seats in it, and you've got 2 cup holders in it.
Oh,
so like you said, you could drive this thing on the street too. Show me a little bit about the interior and what kind of went into the design there.
We got 2 Sparco seats in it, for the big wide seats for the fat boys like me, and so we could just sit in there comfortable and just drive the thing all day long. I mean, I had the thing down on PCH cruising down Malibu 2 weeks ago, so.
Oh, no kidding.
There's a ton of carbon fiber everywhere. I'm a sucker for carbon.
You've got carbon on the floor.
Yeah,
wow.
Carbon floors, carbon doors, the skins are doors, everything's still steel.
Yeah.
We've got actually PCI telecom things, like headsets.
Yeah.
You can pick up phone calls and listen to Bluetooth music over my phone. And
that's just one way to do it.
Yeah, they're all noise canceling. I mean, we could literally go down the street with this thing and do a full throttle pull and whisper to each other.
Yeah, and then I see a lot of Holley stuff on here too.
Yep, Dominator ECU, it's got their little touchscreen dash, Switch Pro's ACR12 switch panel, which one of my favorite things. It's all Bluetooth, so I can fire the truck up from my phone when I'm sitting down in a restaurant or whatever, or honk the horn or do something fun stuff.
So if you see somebody with their head inside, you can just bump it.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, technology
exactly.
is kind of take it to the next level, right? It's not like Grandpa's hot rod anymore, really.
We're so spoiled. I mean, the fact that we could street drive a 2,000 horsepower vehicle and like it's nothing. We're definitely spoiled with technology.
there's a lot of people that don't understand what a Transbrake is. Like, for example, like off-road guys don't use them, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's streetcar guys have heard about it, but how does a Transbrake actually work?
Essentially, all it does, when you press the button, it engages first and reverse at the same time in the transmission, so it holds the truck still, but it still puts it under load.
Yeah.
When I'm staging, I'll grab the Transbrake button, and I'll go full throttle. The truck will go up to its 2-step rev limiter. So for example, I have it set at 4,000 RPMs.
Okay.
So then basically when the lights go, when the green lights go, I let go of that button, it disengages reverse, and it puts everything it has into it in first gear.
Oh, wow.
And it's an aggressive hit. It's basically, it feels like you're getting rear-ended by a semi.
Yeah, so that's a lot of power that you're throwing up
Yeah.
right at the rear end all at once, so that you can just basically build as much boost as you want to based on your tune, right? And then you're just trying to get all of that to the rear.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're on the clock, so it's literally things they have to happen immediately.
Okay, got it. So you need to have a rear end that can actually handle that kind of shock load, right?
Oh yeah, I mean this is no easy task. I mean, it's honestly, it's a relatively heavy truck, and you know, to move something like this, you know, the truck will do 0 to 60 in well under a second.
Oh wow. I want to take a look underneath it if we can. I'd like to try to get it on the lift, but it's super low. We're gonna give it a best shot. So if you don't mind, we're gonna try to move some things around and take a look at the underside. Well, we finally got it on the lift. That was a close one. Yeah. But we got it on here and it fits. And I'm blown away because a lot of this is stuff that I didn't even know is possible, dude. Like you were telling me a little bit about the sensors that go into it and how much data you can actually read. Yeah. And I'm looking at it like, what are these?
So those are shock position sensors. They basically read back velocity and on how far it changes over a certain amount of time, because it's, you know, controlling the rear suspension of a drag car is everything. I mean, that's honestly, it's how we steer them. It's how
you launch, right?
It's how everything, it's what makes these cars come together. So the rear suspension is where the magic really happens. I'm a data freak. I have to know what everything's doing. So you know, we even have a drive shaft speed sensor that measures you know, what the drive shaft is doing. That way, you know, I can adapt traction control to it. Yeah. For example, if I do a really good pass, I'll save that curve. I'll save
so
that
you
data.
can repeat that the next time down you go. Okay, I get it.
If I want to go bracket racing with this thing, and then I have a tune that goes, you know, 550s and 8.
Oh wow.
And I have a curve that goes 550s. I'll put that curve in and tell the truck, hey, follow that every time.
Every time. Yeah, just repeat.
It won't let it go faster, and it'll actually put some power in if it goes slower.
Oh wow. And you were telling me a little bit, like you can actually control the valving pretty easily on these. Like, well, how does that work?
These QA1 shocks are honestly something that not too many people know about yet. You know, these are the mod series shocks. And they're super awesome because I don't have to take the shocks off the truck. We don't have to deal with shock oil or anything to revalve them. They have these little pucks or these packs that unbolt with a couple bolts. You can take them off, pop them in, you have a whole different valve.
All new valving.
Yeah, range essentially.
Really, and that's something you can do like at the track.
It takes 5 minutes to do.
Oh no way. Yeah. So if like you don't like the way something's launching, you don't like the way the shock is reacting, and you're like, well, wait, I'm gonna go ahead and try this instead.
Exactly.
And you can probably see all that data from inside, right? Is that the gear? Okay.
Yep. We compare with the shock sensor. You know, we compare data, and the nice thing is they give you shock dyno graphs as well, so you know what the shock's gonna do before we do it.
Basically, I think when we built this rear end for you, we sent it out to you so that you could have the chassis built around it, and then I believe that you guys kind of finished the build on it so you can kind of set it up in the car so you can fit the wheel and tire, right? I mean, that was kind of the idea.
Honestly, the rear end housing was one of the very first pieces we got, even before all the bars were starting to get laid and all that. But you know, that was, you know, I mean, we were talking years ago with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like you needed that piece because you need to use it to build around, right? There's kind of two different ways to go about it. Like you can get the rear end and set that up and then build around it, or you can kind of like start building the car and then measure for a rear end after the fact. But I would think building something like this, you'd kind of want to get the rear end and kind of build the car around it, make everything fit, but you want to be able to still have that modifiable in length.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, we got them with super long tubes, and yeah, I think the thing was 5.5 feet tall. You know, standing on one end. So, you know, we built the truck essentially around the rear end.
What gear ratio did we end up putting in this?
It's got a 350 gear in it.
Really? Well, this is amazing. I would love, if it's possible, to take a ride with you.
Yeah, let's get this thing off the lift and go for a little scoop.
Let's do it. that's good. Never been off a Transbrake before. Never launched like that before. And I can't imagine how hard this thing must launch on the track. It's absolutely amazing. How do I get out of this thing? I'm just like, oh, I'm blown away. I can't even, I'm speechless, man. I'm like, thank you so much for bringing it. Thank you for running Currie, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being like running out there, running the banner. And I wanna go to the track sometime with you, dude.
Anytime you guys want, you guys are always welcome.
Okay.
We'll turn it up when you guys are there.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again, dude. All right, brother. Thank you. If you like this video, subscribe here. If you want to see more Currie Garage, click here. And for more Currie content, right here.